Hello, whoever you are and wherever you are. I am sending you good vibes. Welcome to my channel. My name is Marquita Etter, and well, let's just call me a Renaissance woman. Today, we are diving deep into our transformative series on reinventing ourselves, focusing on self-awareness and personal responsibility. If you watched the first video to this series, hopefully you are finding the reinvention tools useful and have been engaging in some self-discovery. And thanks for joining me again. And if you are new here and you are striving to be happier, more influential, or even a better decision maker, perhaps you're aiming to gain confidence and control over your life. If that sounds like you, then you're in the right place. Welcome. And let's continue on with our journey. Do you feel like sometimes there is an external force controlling your life? Or do you feel that you just cannot accomplish your goals, or maybe you even avoid setting goals altogether because you feel that failure is inevitable? Well, by implementing these principles, that will begin to change. By becoming increasingly self-aware and taking 100% responsibility for your life, you will begin to recognize your ability to choose how you respond in life circumstances rather than just merely reacting to them. And by doing this, you become the creator rather than the victim of your life. This process can be intimidating for a lot of people because it is uncharted territory. And for others, they may be hesitant to take this journey because as long as they can blame or have excuses, they never feel obligated to own up to their circumstances or live life up to their full potential. But let me remind you that the life you seek is on the other side of fear. So let's break down those walls and move forward. Self-awareness and personal responsibilities are like twin muscles that are essential for crafting the best version of yourself. According to Oxford Dictionary, self-awareness is having conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings. I mean, what does that mean? In my opinion, being self-aware even of your negative traits can build your confidence, because when you are aware of your thoughts, feelings, behavior patterns, and your strengths and weaknesses, you also become aware of the effect that you have on circumstances and on other people. Actually, I like the definition that psychologists Shelley Duvall and Robert Wickland gave. They stated in a study on self-awareness that it is the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, or emotions do or don't align with your internal standards. I like that definition better. If you're highly self-aware, you can objectively evaluate yourself, manage your emotions, align your behavior with your values, and understand correctly how others perceive you. It's like having an honest mirror that shows not just your face, but your mind, your emotions, your desires, the whole package. But let's be real, just seeing this is not enough. To live intentionally and be in the driver's seat of your life, you must take on full responsibility. This is where you own your life completely. No excuses, no blaming others. It's recognizing that you're the artist painting the canvas of your life with every brush stroke, every color choice. It's all on you. And that's not just a burden, it's a power. It means you can repaint, readjust, and redefine your life at any moment. It is when you combine these two, self-awareness and personal responsibility, that you truly begin to craft your journey of creating a life of your dreams. It doesn't matter how self-aware you claim to be. Taking full responsibility for your actions is the starting point for creating any kind of success in any area of your life. Listen, no one is coming to save you. So by taking 100% responsibility for yourself and everything that happens in your life, you'll begin to understand that you really are the creator of your life. This is law. It is the law of cause and effect. If there is any effect in life that you are not happy with, it is solely up to you to change the causes. You might be thinking now, how is that even true? Now, there are many things happening in my life that I do not have control over. You might be thinking, for example, how did you cause
that situation where that guy stole your parking spot in Costco?
But what I'm talking about here is not about the events that happen to us. It is the way we respond. Many times what we do following these events are primarily conditioned responses, and they can heighten the situation and affect your energy far longer than they need to, because you are giving your power away by reacting to them. So what do? I have a couple of suggestions. One is that you take control of your mind and your actions. And secondly, some of you are not gonna like this, but you need to go on a social media detox, and that includes the news. First, let's talk about taking control of your mind and your action. I mean, many of us are used to reacting to things, right? Maybe someone says something or calls you a name and you instantly get angry or defensive. That is a conditioned response. But guess what? You can control that. This is where self-awareness and total responsibility can transform your life. By consciously changing your habitual reactions and taking control of your mind and actions, you can start to switch up the outcome a bit. So how do we do this? I suggest that you make a game of it. The next time you're triggered, pause, breathe, and just don't react. Smile, take a deep breath. Stay calm and listen. I am not saying not to honor or that you should ignore your feelings. I encourage you to embrace your emotions, because through our emotions, by understanding them, we're getting to know ourselves better. But what I am saying is don't let your emotions take control of you. What I'm saying is allow yourself the chance in life to not give your emotions power over you. It's one thing to embrace them, and it's another thing to control them. I encourage you to give it a try. As they say, keep doing the same thing and you will continue to get the same result. To expect that you're going to get anything differently is insanity. I think that was Einstein that said that. These are the types of changes you must make to get the life that you want. And many times, our emotions are a result of our past experiences. Now, we are moving forward, so let's go. And sometimes you do have to fake it till you make it. Practice this game a couple of times. Initially, it would feel like, yeah, there's nothing in this for me, and you might want to give up, but trust me, eventually you'll get to the point where you are like, okay, now I see how this can really work in my favor. So in order for you to be able to do this, you'll need to plan in advance for these encounters, because natural reactions are natural, and unless you have a plan, you will most likely fail at it. This practice will help your brain see and process things beforehand, making it a bit easier, because in the moment, your brain will want to naturally act the same way. It wants to act by default and do what is most comfortable. But this is how our brains keep us stuck. It will be difficult at first, but self-control is like a muscle that can be built over time. With practice and persistence, it will get easier, especially when you start to see positive results. And eventually, this will become a part of your new identity. When you do this, you will begin to automatically do a lot of self-reflecting, hence becoming more aware of who you are and your place in the world. I know there is nothing fun about having someone push your buttons, but trust me, the effect that these events have on us is a matter of perspective, and you can change your perspective. I remember when I first started doing this inner work and seeing this work for myself. Moving from Cincinnati to California 20 years ago was like walking into an entirely different world. In Cincinnati, when you're driving, if you put your signal on, for the most part, people will let you over. Well, this did not seem to be the case in California. But after I started taking my self-improvement journey seriously and began to work on my energy, I learned to control my emotions and not react to people. I do remember that I began this practice with reciting the Serenity Prayer. Whenever I was triggered, I would recite this prayer. It's simple, yet so powerful, and it reads, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, I cannot tell you how long this took, but I feel like it didn't take me long enough to get bored or frustrated with the process before I started noticing that people were opening doors and letting me over in traffic, and I'm sure those people didn't just change overnight. It was me. I changed. I was a bit of a hothead. I am still a work in progress, but this was just one of many other experiences that allowed me to practice self-awareness and see the benefit of taking 100% responsibility for my life. Another thing that you may want to do to become increasingly self-aware and increase your self-responsibility is to take a social media detox. To increase your self-awareness, you must be able to discern what is affecting you and how it is affecting you so that you can consciously make the decision to consume certain content or not. By incorporating a social media detox, social media and news detox, you will become aware of how certain television shows you watch or people you follow on social media, and most importantly, the people you hang out with affect you. This may be particularly important if you are experiencing issues with things like feeling you are not enough or not doing enough, or maybe you are consistently in a lower vibration like frustration or in a mood, or I don't know, just feeling down. Now, this is not for everyone, and it is not a one-size-fits-all solution, and you should combine this with other mindfulness techniques. A media detox can have numerous benefits in improving your self-awareness because it promotes mindfulness, reduces social comparison, and can have many mental health benefits. Also, check this out, it fosters real-life connections. And after the detox, you may begin to consciously decide to engage in activities and be around people that are uplifting and feeds into your spirit. You may find, as I did, that when you reincorporate social media back into your life, you are able to understand why some people have triggered you in the past. Because you allowed yourself a break from it all, and now going back into it, you are mindful of the difference. However, it is important to note that a media detox should be approached thoughtfully and tailored to your individual needs. I started my detox by deleting my social media apps, and I kept my phone on Do Not Disturb, primarily because I was in law school. It was my first year of law school. Then when I started to slowly reincorporate it back into my life, I found that many of the conversations that I was having and things that I was watching on social media was actually having an effect on me. Like, I would see something or have a conversation with someone, within that next day or so, I found myself in a slump. I began to notice this energy shifting thing when I met people in person as well. I found that for some people, I could feel this slump as soon as I left their presence. I had never noticed this before in the past. I would think that maybe my mood was a little off, like maybe I was down because of some biological event like hormones or hunger. That may have also contributed, but because I had gone on a social media detox, which was basically a semi-isolation for like maybe 3 months, I was kind of aware of how my biology had been affecting me by that time. But this was not that. Like, I would literally walk away from hanging out with someone or talking to them and feel a real shift in my energy. So give it a try and see if it works for you. It is kind of like when someone is having an allergic reaction to food and they go to get an allergy test and the doctor tells them to eliminate certain foods and then reincorporate them individually back into their diets. Everyone's journey through becoming self-aware is unique, and the benefits that each person receives are deeply personal. However, I do know that it can make you a happier person. It can decrease your stress. It can improve your relationships because you'll start to understand how you influence outcomes. Not only may your perspective change, but being self-aware and claiming responsibility for your life frees you from the herd mentality. It puts you in the driver's seat of your life. It allows you to make decisions for yourself that are true to your unique aspirations aspirations and goals. One of the most significant benefits that I noticed from going on this journey was that it freed me from the herd mentality. When I was far into this journey, I was still working as a nurse. I watched my colleagues buy houses and advance their degrees in nursing. I had the means, but deep down, something felt off, and I just knew I had to sit still. And there's nothing wrong with that, advancing your degrees and buying homes, but we have our own journeys in life. And if you are making decisions based upon what other people are doing, how can you ever explore your own journey? How can you ever discover your purpose? Because you're basically following the herd. I was already overworked, and taking on more responsibilities that would further anchor me to nursing just didn't align with the path that I saw my life going. So when COVID hit and my nursing burnout peaked, I was glad I hadn't followed the herd. Instead, I quit. Because of that, I was able to pivot and focus on law school and venture into business, unburdened by the commitment of a mortgage and all of the things that come along with it. I wasn't tied down by home ownership. To enhance self-awareness, start with mindfulness practices such as meditation and reflecting regularly through journaling. And one question that keeps me grounded in this is asking myself, how do I want to show up as the best version of me today? So yes, ask yourself, how will you show up as the best version of yourself today? You'll want to also ask yourself, is this content that I am consuming or this conversation that I'm engaging in, is it feeding me positively or negatively? Is this making me a better person? At the very least, is it making the other person a better person? Let's be intentional about what we are putting out there in the world and also what we're consuming. To further guide you into this process, I've included some journal prompts and affirmations in the description box below in the Reinvention Toolkit. By nurturing self-awareness and embracing responsibility, you become the captain of your ship, the master of your fate. So start with small steps and you'll witness a remarkable transformation. It is with this self-awareness that external factors begin to lose their power over you, and you'll be empowered to navigate life's challenges. Remember, every choice counts. And if you haven't already, please go and watch the foundational video in this series where I discuss why and how to start reinventing yourself through self-discovery. Stay tuned for our next video where we'll explore how to clarify your vision by acknowledging your core values. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Keep practicing and stay aware. Stay responsible, and I'll see you in the next video. Blessings.